What's up, YouTube? Greetings to the world. Someone play my theme music right now. Welcome to Wolf King's Vids. I'm your host, the illustrious Wolf King. Everybody give it up. Okay, so recently, the rapper Kanye West made an appearance on TMZ, did an interview about him wearing the Make America Great Again hat. He said a few things that I want to analyze. He said a number of things, but it certainly wasn't Freethought. But let's just check and see what clips we got. Okay. All right, there we go.
Gentlemen, Northwest's father.
What's good? Kanye, how you doing, man? What's good?
Welcome. How you doing? Thank you so much. So, first of all, thank you so much for coming here and doing this. I want to start with what everybody is talking about, because I don't think people necessarily understand what happened last week with the Make America Great Again hat. So everybody wants to hear from you, and I want to have a discussion about it. What drove you to that? What was your point? What are you trying to do with the message you're sending?
Well, it was really just my subconscious. It was a feeling I had, like people were taught how to think, we're taught how to feel. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. Like, you can't do it for this reason. You can't do this for that reason. So, and, I'm not coming up here to justify anything. It's, you can't tell me nothing. I made the song, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me what I'm, supposed to do. And also, it's like, the idea of,
it sounds more like he's trying to be contrarian. He tries to go against the, majority view of something, but okay.
Icons and representations, I don't subscribe to icons. You take like the Nazi symbol. If you go to India, it's all over the place, but it doesn't represent that. It represents something different. So for me to wear that hat means I want to make America great in my own way.
So were you wearing the hat specifically to show support for Donald Trump, or was it a bigger statement about Freethought?
What? I mean, I'm an artist, right? So to ask an artist, there's infinite reasons. There's infinite reasons to the why an artist does something. An artist doesn't need suggestions. An artist needs paintbrush and a canvas. So this opened up a conversation. I'm probably going to do the least good explanation of why. I'm just connected with the universe, period. I'm just, and that's going to come off whack. Don't try to wacko-jacko me for saying that, because that's what the media is trying to do. They're attacking me with these.
Okay, let's skip this part.
The Crips. Your brother beat you up. Like, man, you getting out of line, bro. You tripping. I'm going to beat you up. I was like, man, that's love, man. Daz love me, and I love Daz. And
you're not taking it seriously?
That's how you took it when you saw the video of Daz.
Oh, you could live through an ass whooping. You ain't gonna live through, what I think that they're probably the idea is to beat sense into me. But, when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race, that we're one. We're the human race. We're human beings and stuff. And eventually, you know.
Can I go back to something you just said? Because I don't want to let it pass. You said that slavery was around for 400 years. At a point, it becomes a choice.
Yeah, right now we're choosing to be enslaved. We're like, okay, so Ebro, I FaceTime on, and I'm there with Candace, right? And Ebro starts bringing up his version of facts, right? And Candace has facts. She's researched, right? Candace Owens has facts. She's researched, and then
I think he's trying to get into subjective truths and other things of that nature. I mean, it gets crazy as it continues.
Candace just pulls out her Jedi lightsaber and just, chops Ebro's head off with facts. Then Ebro FaceTimes me the next day, and he's talking about the scoop, poop. He wants to talk about music now. I said, yo, you gonna have Candace on your show? He's like, nah, I'm not. She's mean. So you're gonna stifle her voice, Ebro. You're choosing to enslave people's minds. You're choosing to not let the truth be free.
Can I give you my translation of what happened last week and tell me if it's right?
Okay.
The way I see it, you don't necessarily embrace the views of Donald Trump as much as you want to show people that they shouldn't be intimidated from showing their true feelings, expressing themselves freely, and that the hat is a lightning rod for this kind of free thought that is lost in our society because people get bullied and shouted down and they're intimidated to the point where they have to shut up. Is that fair?
It's the mob. The mob tries to tell you what to think. The mob tries to make all blacks be Democrats for food stamps and stuff. It's the mob. And by the way, you're just talking to the emotion. When you get Candace, ask her, she's gonna drop you the facts.
We're gonna have Candace on in a bit.
The kid, if you ask the kid that stood in Tiananmen Square.
Okay, let's fast forward.
I think what you're doing right now is actually asking stuff. And the reason why I feel like that is because, Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Every day we have to walk into that truth while you choose to say things that, to be honest with you, dog, are nonsensical. You want to think freely? That's fine. I'll combat your free thought with my free thought because mine is grounded in a reality that I've been given and a reality that I'm going to change, but I'm not going to do it by pretending that the enemies are on the same team as me. And frankly, I'm disappointed. I'm appalled. And brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real. That's the way I feel. Stand on all the coffee tables you want to stand on. Say whatever you want to say, but don't throw a stone, then hide your hand like the rest of us are just going to swallow it. Yay, be yay. I'm off it forever. Do you. But remember, the life that I live is as a real person. An actual person.
Now the thing is, he said something up. He said, grounded in reality. This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice. Just like when I said slavery is a
this door bottle.
choice. The reality, we can make our own reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now because we can fix and start loving each other now. I say we have no enemies. We don't have enemies. Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay. It's okay for blacks to kill blacks. But if it's a white thing,
Wait, saying that's okay. Wait.
There's been more focus and more marches.
That is a lie.
About
don't
whites killing blacks.
Wait.
Than kids in Chicago killing each other.
That's a lie. There are black people working. There
are no marches. 90% of black people getting killed are killed by other blacks.
That's a fact.
The black homicide rate is a fact.
That is a fact.
Black on black crime is a fact.
But there are black people.
Okay,
wait a second.
you're too far. You have to be closer to me.
I'm here right now. There are black people working every single day.
Don't scream because it will make us look crazy.
I don't care how we look in front of this. Talk us. Come on.
No, when you scream and you don't talk, it doesn't look. Right.
Let me just say something.
Let me impart this upon you.
Okay, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because these are two different versions of somebody else's truth. This is two different versions of somebody else's truth. So he gets up and he's talking
I think this is Candace, apparently.
Slavery, right? Okay, I'm not enslaved, so that it's like I don't mean to insult his reality.
Kanye, come on over.
I don't mean
I just want to give him a hug.
right? Like I don't mean to.
No, I think he might want to fight me, but I want to give him a hug.
Okay, but like,
if I come over there, you're not going to fight me? No, I'm not going to hit you or hurt you.
You got to be responsible
to fix the world. We pain that made him see pain. But guess what? When I went into the hospital. We're now in the hospital. TMZ is the hospital to fix the world.
Bro? Yeah, that's not true. Listen, first of all, calmly.
What's your name, though?
It's not true.
I'm sorry for disappointing you, Van.
Yeah, listen. Yeah. Calmly. Yeah. What you said up there a second ago, the statistic on black on black violence is true. What they don't tell you is there are people dedicating their lives to working throughout the problems of black people. There are black people every day, boots on the ground. Right now. They're all over the place that are working towards this. Like every single day, people are trying to fix this problem. The narrative that black people don't care about black lives until a white person takes them is false. That is not true. But the problem is the people that are doing this work in communities every day, guys all over the place, they don't get the type of reverence, they don't get the type of shine, they don't get the type of light spotted on them. What I'm trying to say is, while we're having all of these conversations about stuff that gets covered on the news, who's going to talk about what doesn't get covered on the news? Like, to me, for me, for a lot of years, the dude that inspired me to be more than what I was in Baton Rouge, that was you. Ask everybody in this room for years. Ask everybody in here how many times we've had a Kanye West story, and I've stood there, the only person to defend Kanye West because of what you meant to me. And then after that, you slapped me in my face by getting next to people who mean me harm and who are not.
Particular views, issues.
Steve Jobs was crazy. But like I just told J. Cole on the phone right now, it's a bigger plan, and I'm just doing what the universe told me. Now, I'm not drugged the out, but I did pop a 911 yesterday before I got here to make sure I didn't prove it.
Interested in doing this with Kanye is because he got me thinking about the notion of free thought, which honestly, on that level, I completely agree with him. I think free thought is almost dead in this country, that people are bullied into feeling a certain way, and if you don't believe what somebody else does, they will bully you and boycott you and try to kill you. And that's what I was connecting with, not specific issues, but
I feel like there's some conflation with the words free speech and free thought and freedom of expression, but we'll get into that shortly.
Tell us what the root of all of this is. What are we talking about? Are we talking about free thought, free love? What is it?
It's free love. It's the spirit. You know, you had, in the office, you had Tupac and John Lennon on the wall. I don't want to be the third one, but I'm willing to be the third one for free love on that wall.
What the fuck?
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
If I say I love Dr. Jan Adams that performed surgery, my mother's final surgery, people don't want to accept forgiveness and love. Like even Harvey, you said you can't love everyone when we talked about the Jan Adams.
I believe that.
But does God want you to love everyone? Well, first of all, do you believe in God?
Yes, but I don't necessarily think. I know people say that, Kanye. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from.
If you start thinking about love and start feeling love and thinking about forgiveness, then you can overcome things.
I was able to talk to Kanye last week at some length about this, and it really, honestly, this is what inspired me, that I think you were right, that we are We are a country of intolerance right now. And as long as we are so intolerant that we try to kill people who disagree with us, we are going to love you.
Right. And that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Okay. We have free thought. I disagree. I think love conquers all. I think love, I know, not think. I know from the bottom of my gut and my soul and my spirit and my subconscious that love is the strongest force in the universe. And talk to him about how we can result. So we keep on saying, I hate you, you. How are we going to get a different result out of hate? Why don't we just try love? Why don't we just try love? Why can't it be okay for an influential rapper in the black community to go up to the president and talk to him about how we can make a change one by one? We have the resources for...
I think I do predict Kanye West 2020 in the future, just so you know.
A peaceful world. I believe that Kim Jong-un didn't believe that Obama was crazy enough to come at him. You know, sometimes you need some crazy to change something. Steve Jobs is calling on Steve Jobs' phones. They say Trump's crazy. They say I'm crazy. But I'm here to show love, and we're going to make it through. I know I disappoint.
Okay, I think I'm going to stop the clip showing right now and give my assessment of it. Okay, now I'm not going to focus too much on the 400 years of slavery as a choice because, you know, I'm just going to say that's based in ignorance, right? That's just based on just a lack of understanding, just rational understanding, right? But a lot of what he said was not based in fact. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, what he said about it, like, why is it wrong for an influential rapper to identify with the president? There's nothing wrong with that. You want to have an opinion, you want to be able to voice your views, you know, and be able to express what you think is right. That's fine. That's fine. That's what the First Amendment's all about, right? But don't go around and say that that's free thought, because let's make something abundantly clear here. How free thought is understood to be, it's the philosophical viewpoint that your views are based on logic, reason, and empirical evidence, and not on authority or tradition or dogma or anything like that. I mean, I heard a lot of what Kanye West had to say, and for the most part, it just seemed like just some like feel good words and like spiritual hocus pocus, all that shit. You know, mixed with, you know, love and peace and all that stuff like that. I mean, you know, that's good on paper, but it's not. I mean, it really doesn't say a lot about Trump's public policy for the most part. Like I heard what he said about the black on black crime being a thing. I mean, that's the only real statistic I heard. But other than that, he hasn't actually demonstrated how Donald Trump has actually done good for people. I mean, like for example, right? Like Donald Trump said that the black and brown unemployment has been the lowest under him. Well, let's take a look at that shit, shall we? African American unemployment is the lowest ever recorded in our country. The Hispanic unemployment rate dropped a full point in the last year, and it's the lowest in recorded history. That said nothing for you, but by your vote. Okay, let's see. All right. How accurate is this tweet? In December 2017, African American unemployment fell to 6.8%. That's a record low since the statistic was first calculated in 1972. The previous record low was 7% in April 2000 and September 2017. Unemployment rate, Black or African American, 1972 to 2018. Okay. He's right on the numbers, but leaves out economic gains for those groups under Democratic control. The Hispanic unemployment also dropped by a full percentage point from 5.9% in December 2016 to 4.9% in December 2017. As the president said, this is close to the data's point's all-time low, which was 4.8% in October and November 17. The tweet would have been accurate if Trump had stopped after the numbers, but his dig on the Democrats marred his talking point. The unemployment rate for both groups declined dramatically on President Barack Obama's watch. Blacks' unemployment peaked at 16.6% in April 2010 when Obama was president. It then fell by more than half to 7.8% by the time Obama left office in 2017. Hispanic unemployment, meanwhile, peaked at 13% in August 2009, then fell to 5.9% at the end of Obama's term in January 2017, also a drop of more than half. There's that. Okay, then there's Trump's tax plan. Reactions to the Republicans' new tax plan have indicated that may believe it favors the wealthy over everyone else. Business Insider's Bob Bryan reported that 8.5 million may see their taxes increase this year, while 4.6 million middle-class Americans might see a spike in taxes by 2025. In the short term, Business Insider's Lauren Land Cole reported that take-home pay is set to rise under the tax reform plan for most workers, but the majority of Americans won't get a ton of extra money. How much you save depends on how much you currently earn. So a real jab to the middle and working classes right there. And let's not forget the fact that he's basically kicking everyone out who previously had legal protections to be in here, i.e. immigrant workers. They're basically being deported. So all this, I mean, you know, he talks about like love and peace and all this stuff, but the results of Trump's public policy really doesn't express that. So, I mean, honestly, if he wants to wear a hat and be contrarian and go against like the view that Trump is a crappy president that's worthy of scrutiny and ridicule, that's fine. That's fine. But please do not say what you're spouting is free thought. It's not. It's the ramblings of a person who's borderline schizophrenic. I seriously think Kanye West needs some therapy. I don't know what that Kardashian pussy did to you, man, but it really scrambled your brains. Like, you really need to sit down somewhere and take some medication. Like, please. You just making yourself look like a fool, man. Like, you on that crazy shit. I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, you cited really nothing. You gave no reason to actually say that Trump should be trusted as a president overall. I mean, you just said that, hey, man, like, I just wore a hat, man. I just think you need love, bro. Like, Trump, man, like, he might seem like a crazy motherfucker. Like, people saying I'm crazy, stuff. But, like, dude, that it's almost like you're saying Galileo was thought crazy for saying that the sun was at the center and the earth rotated around it. And like, what, you're the next Galileo or some shit? Like, that's a fallacy, man. That's fallacious reasoning. You're on that nonsense. I mean, you can rap, you can make a couple good songs. That doesn't mean that you're an expert on political science. I think you need to chill out with that shit. You're not an expert on history or anything like that. I really hate it when celebrities get way too into politics or philosophy and stuff like that, and they don't really understand the beginnings of it. But that's all I gotta say about that. That's my 2 cents. All right, guys, this has been Wolf King's Vids. Peace out. If you like this video, you know what to do. Stop by Dare to Know, and Hail Satan. Later.